Hey yo, this is another episode of the Steven from the Old Time Podcast. Listen to my dad, he's awesome.
Welcome to a new episode of Stephen from the All Time Podcast. I am your host, the visionary, the revolutionary, and the voice of the voiceless. With my co-host this evening.
Hey yo, it's me, it's D Milenko clocking double shift, man. Just finished work to this next work right now, dude. What's up?
Well, how can you call this work though?
It's
It's
true,
not
huh?
work, it's fun. I,
It's
I
true.
hired you to have fun.
It's true. It's true. You're right.
Malenko, the dogs are barking. Our special guest tonight just put out his new album, completely produced by Mallori Knox, Cry Baby, the Umbrella Collective Soldier, with his music hitting like a spear from Braun Breaker, Mr. Boombastic, and Filth We Trust, the filthy animal. Big Trip is here tonight.
What up, though? I like that intro, bro. You made me sound like I'm about to come out brawling with motherfuckers.
I love it. Hey, man, with those two records that you put out with Jamil Honesty, I said it when we reviewed it. It was like walkout music to wrestling.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I felt, especially when I first linked up with Jamil and he sent me the very first track, the intro.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt. Like that, I wrote that shit in like 3 minutes, bro. That shit gave me so much motivation.
So that song needs to be played for somebody in WWE so they could use it as their entrance song. Plain and simple.
Yeah, let's find somebody to push that motherfucker to then.
Yeah. Um, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You just dropped Cry Baby,
Yes, sir.
and this album is totally different than the two projects that you put out with Jamil Honesty. And to me, this is something that you needed to get off your chest. I feel like every song is a different feel to it, with exquisite wordplay, with a passionate, heartfelt, personal message.
100%. You hit the nail on the hammer, the nail on the head for sure.
So I want to get into every single track from the record. Just get through the songs, the meanings of the songs, because I know there's a lot of heartfelt in here. So let's start off. Let's start off with "Cry Baby." The song starts off with Rob De Niro talking about change and the party being over, with a Western style type of sample that she used. With you saying, they say I'm a crybaby, but how can they equate my pain?
Yeah. So to be honest, that song in general is that song when I first started writing it didn't have a name to it or none of that shit. Um I spit probably about like 12 bars to Mickey. I called Mickey and was like, man, I'm feeling a way about certain shit, blah, blah, blah. And you know, Mick, he the man. So at the end of the day, when I talk my shit to him, he always tell me like, bro, just keep going, bro, just keep going. It's a slow grind. He was like, shit, my first few years in this shit, I felt the same way. So I spit like 12 bars to him and shit. And we always give each other, little talk shit to each other, whatever. And after I spit him, he was like, man, you're a fucking crybaby, man. Like, stop crying, man. I keep telling you, man. And I'm like, man, fuck you. And I hung up on him. And then probably about like 3 days later, I finished the verse and I spit it to him again. He was like, bro, that shit hurt. He was like, you still a crybaby though. And I was like, you know what? That's the name of the album. And my whole concept of this album literally sparked off that song. And then I started thinking to myself, like, you know what? I'm about to write about how I feel about the underground, fans, other artists, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that feel this way. You know what I mean? But people be scared to speak their mind because they're gonna look like a fucking crybaby. And me personally, I don't care about looking like a crybaby because how the fuck can you equate my pain? You don't know what I do every day on the daily to make this shit happen. You know what I mean? You don't know the sacrifices I gotta take, the money that I spend to maybe not make no money back, or to, this shit is like the casino. This shit is like putting a couple dollars in the slot machine. You may crack it, but you may go home mad as hell. You know what I mean? So the whole album came from that one song for real.
Wow. That's amazing how you have somebody in your corner like Mickey who is able to push you forward and pump you up and also call you the crybaby for you to get the mind working to actually put all of this on wax.
No, for sure, for sure. That's my brother, man. Like I said. Okay, my bad. Yeah, I've been knowing Mix since we was 14 years old, man. So we gonna talk all the shit in the world to each other, but it's all out of love. And he know how I feel with this shit because I think I might have said this before, like on the Abyss podcast, but like I was Mickey before Mickey was Mickey. Like, you know what I mean? Like back 2014, 2015, I started Filthy Animal Entertainment. I had merch, I had clothing, I had multiple albums out, but we knew nothing about the underground. So once he got into the underground, we were me and Mac Nice, we was biased. Like, we don't want to do that shit. Like, let's do what we've been doing, but not knowing that, Mickey really had a plan brewing. And, ever since then we've been rocking, but he definitely always in my corner, same as me always in his corner.
Yeah, because you spit that on Brother's Keeper. And that was a heartfelt song about friendship and brotherhood and the relationships you guys had, but you bring it back here and there, and you mentioned him on Eat One on this album, your relationship with Mickey.
Yeah.
So They Try and Overlook Me. Speak on that and why you're mentioning that on the record.
Deep down, I feel like, don't get me wrong, this is that type of sport to where, you're gonna feel like can't nobody fuck with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to feel like that a lot. Like, some of my homies that I used to rap with here, they didn't want to rap with me because I looked at everything as a competition when it comes to lyrics. Because, I grew up in the battle era and shit in high school. That's really how I got my rank in high school, just annihilating motherfuckers. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And everything, I never was a songwriter. I always was a verse writer because, like I say, back when I was growing up, it was about whoever ran out of verses first lost. You know what I mean? So always had 1,000 verses on deck, but I never really knew how to compose a song. That came much later. So in my mind, I still have that every time I write. You know what I mean? Every time I sit down to write something, in my mind, I'm thinking like, yeah, I'm about to kill everybody, even if it's just me on here. So They Overlook Me is the fact that I feel like I've been in this shit for like going on 4 years now, or it might be 4 years. I got 4, 5 pretty solid albums out that I feel. And as far as lyrically, motherfuckers ain't flipping like how I'm flipping lyrically, man. Like, and I feel like people really is either people really not listening, they too busy dick sucking somebody else, or maybe I ain't doing what I think I'm doing. It's got to be one of the three. So that's really my journey that I'm on right now. I'm trying to figure out which one is it. Do they not hear me, or do they hear me and not give a fuck? Or, I'm trying to equate what it is.
Look, I'm gonna add to what you're saying. I don't think they're paying attention, because with you mentioning the way you spit and the way you come on these albums lyrically, it's there. People just got to pay attention to what you're saying. Like, lyrically, you are there. It's how can we get the people pay attention to Big Trip? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because it's there. The music speaks for itself. Like the projects you've been putting out, and last year you had a stellar year. You put out 2 really, really powerful projects. Well, 2 projects that had some of the best production of the year on there. So people just need to pay attention. We got to get them interested in what you're doing because the music speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
100, and I feel the exact same way. So now you can understand how I could write an album like this, because it's like, damn, what are you not hearing? You know what I mean? They tried to overlook me. You thought it was okay. Accolades like Ice Cube. Don't treat me like I'm O'Shea.
Oh shit.
I'm not new to this shit. I've been doing this. Like, y'all just gotta get hip. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Not y'all per se, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and look at Visions of the Mind, like a well orchestrated violin sampled beat, and giving you room to basically for you to lay it all out on the table to speak your mind.
100%.
What would you do? A track that feels like something that, what would you do when you're under pressure, when people are putting you under pressure? Speak on that.
That's just like an everyday thing for real. That song came off of just like just everyday thing. Like, being from Detroit, you could be a regular dude going to work, coming home, not doing shit, but you could stop at the grocery store or you could stop at the liquor store and it'll go down in that motherfucker. So it's really just life in general. What would you do? You feel me? Is you back against the wall? You back against the wall? Is your tail tucked? Or you know, that whole song is really just about fight or flight for real.
And that's the first track you picked as your single.
Not necessarily as my single, but that was the track that, honestly, the track that I wanted to be my single was the song with Danielson, the Slow Cooking.
Yeah.
Slow cooking, yeah.
But I wanted to shoot a visual for it, and our schedules just was clashing, and I couldn't make it to Canada, and he couldn't make it to Detroit because we just had, you know, a bunch of different things going on, and I felt like What Would You Do was like the next best one that, you know, hit home, where I feel like it could have a visual, and you know, the hook was talking about something, and you know, it had some content. I mean, it has some, you know, like a vision to it. You know, it wasn't just like straight bars.
And then we get into Dirty Thoughts featuring Pro Dillinger, that I find is probably one of the most powerful songs on here, because it's shit that you guys talk about, that you've gone through, and that you've had to gone through that dirty stuff for you to get to where you are now and to be able to make the decisions that you make now.
Yeah. Like, anytime I link up with Pro, like on, I want to say Dirt, it might have been Dirt Don't Hurt. Me and Pro, we had a we was just, you know, kicking it on the phone for a couple of hours, and then he hit me up, you know, to do the feature or whatever, and we just so happened to both write about what we was just talking about a couple of days prior. You know what I mean? So anytime I link up with Pro, I always want to. I just feel like he got that voice and the passion to really get the point across, type shit. And for that particular song, I normally send Pro to grimy shit. I wanted to give him something that was brighter, but I knew he was still gonna filth it up. You know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah, that's him. That's Pro right there.
No, 100%. You feel me? So when I got finished with that song, I was like, yeah, this need Pro on it. Even though it don't sound like a Pro type of song, but that's exactly why I did it, because I knew he was gonna still give me what I was looking for.
Yeah, and the way you both sound on tracks together is like, because you both have that heartfelt style and what you're saying, but it matches so perfectly.
Yeah. I agree. Me and I just like Pro. His flow make me, to be honest. If you heard my 2015 album, my Long Lost Legend, I used to rap like Pro. I wasn't really. I mean, my voice was still the same, but it was way more aggression. That's where my ad lib, that's where that came from, because that's how my style used to be. I used to be, Mick always tell me like, bitch, I want the old Trip back. But I just feel like my style has transformed into something different. You know what I mean? But that's why I love doing songs with Pro, because he bring out the old Trip lyrically, and I don't have to bring that rough, rugged style because he got that covered.
Yeah, absolutely. Eat One, another standout track on here. I just love the drum intro and how she gave you that lead. Man, the production on this track is probably one of my favorite produced track on the album. Like, you glided on here. You like just the lyrics to telling everybody to eat one. How dare you, motherfuckers? I'm gonna open up a can of whoop ass. Like, with your chest poked out.
All that. And that's exactly that, and that's exactly why I named it Eat One. And I felt like on that particular song, like that's like a cipher type of, like I could go to Hot 197 and spit that verse. That bitch was just all bars and passion, but it was from the direction that I'm trying to, go with the album. So when I first got that beat, I got all of the beats at once. Like me and me and Mal, should I say, I call her Dee Dee. You feel me? That's like, that's my sister for real. You know what I mean? Like, I've been knowing her for over 10 years, like since, her and Mick was together or whatever. But she like a real friend. You feel me? So our relationship is a little different. And we honestly have fell out for a minute over some petty shit. And once we talked to each other or whatever, and was like, life too short, blase split. I'm like, I hit her up and I was like, shit, D, what's up? Let's do an album. Because to be honest, I already had like 5 or 6 songs done. I still got like 5 or 6 songs from maybe 6-7 years ago that I did with her. Even before Mickey, I was the first person to have a Mallori Knox album, but I just never dropped it. But once we got the link back up, I knew what it was gonna be, and she was already in her bag. You feel me? She told me like, "Shit, I'm ready. I got such and such this many." She told me like, I think what she say. She was like, "I got 24 beats." I'm like, "Well, fuck it." We FaceTime each other, and we sat there and listened to every single beat that she made within the last few months, and she let me get the pick of the litter out the first batch. I had Mick mad as hell too. And I was laughing.
But she got that sound already. She already has like a signature sound.
Yeah.
Can you speak a bit, because you know her for so long? Like, how do you saw the evolution of her beats over time?
I literally seen it from jump. Like, she didn't know how to make beats at all. She was always a music head, but she didn't know how to, make them. And Mick taught her. And once Mick taught her how to make beats, something else snapped, because, like I say, her musical ear is so scantless. She gonna go pick samples that most people not gonna pick. She gonna go find shit that most people can't even, she gonna find the type of sample that most people gonna just go by. But she gonna make something out that motherfucker, and you gonna love it. My whole idea when we first started doing this shit was when Mick was like heavy into production, because when he first got into the Umbrella, he was a producer. They ain't really, he wasn't even on no rap shit. So that's when his production was just like crazy. Like, my first 2 albums was produced entirely by him. Like, he one of the coldest producers in the underground. People just don't know it, because he since he took off with rap, he ain't really been in his production bag, but he one of the coldest producers in the underground for sure. And once we seen that she knew how to put together the samples with the, once she learned how to put the beats in, the snare in here and all that type of shit, it was up from there. She literally been cold at making beats since she started making beats. She never been trash. And
No,
I
look,
feel like me and Mick on like I feel like we a perfect trio because I've never heard a trash verse from Mick ever in my life. And we've been rapping together since we was 14. He ain't never heard a trash verse from me. We literally started off sweet. And I ain't trying to, like brag or nothing or like toot my own horn, but we've never been like, damn, I need to learn how to do this a little better. Like, no, we've always had this shit in the bag.
yeah, you could hear when you guys get together, but like you and Mallory, just that connection, the 24 beats she gave you and the 9 that you picked out of there, like it all feels like it was all just produced for you for this record. Like they all consistently flow after one another. It gives you that theatrical type of sound, and it's not even like soul that's sampled on here. It's like it's more of like a themed style movie.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like I've always had a good ear for production as well. Like if you go through my whole catalog, like damn near, like I just now started like really liking boom bappy type of beats. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And I only like them type of beats because them the type of beats that you could really just rap on and let a motherfucker hear what you got to say. But as far as like this album, the shit was just like written in the stars, bro. Like I say, we didn't even know we was gonna do this shit. I didn't even know this album was gonna be what it is. She didn't know I wanted the album. She literally had just made these beats, and out of those beats, this is what I got from it. You know what I mean? So it was like it was ordained. It was this shit was supposed to happen.
Oh, 100%. Look at how it sounds. Like it really sounds like it was meant to come out and you guys were in the studio together making the record from scratch.
Right.
That's how I hear it.
And that's what makes it so crazy because it's the furthest thing from what happened.
Yeah. And look at Fits of Nostalgia. Like that's another song on here that I keep replaying and that just punches out with the rest of the album. It just that theatrical type of beat that she gave you for you to really again put everything down for everybody to hear, and this being something about like growing up, right? Family.
Yeah. 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 It was really like that song was really like it was supposed to be just an interlude or whatever, which it is, but I wanted to give it a name because that's how I felt when I started writing it. First of all, every song on this album I gotta tip my hat to D because every song on this album stemmed from how her production made me feel at the time that I was writing the song. You know what I mean? So that sample on Fits of Nostalgia, I could hear it like I don't know exactly what it's saying, but it sounds like it's saying remember. So
yeah,
it's like I remember. That's what I hear when I heard it. So I'm like, damn, something just made me. So it's not necessarily about family. It's not necessarily about me growing up or nothing. It's an era piece.
Mm-hmm.
Like anybody that's from my era will understand how I started it. Like, how could you not love it? It's like Granny in the kitchen with the pot jumping. Back in the day, everybody, at least in my family, we everybody met up at Granny crib.
mm-hmm.
She in the kitchen going crazy, making a great meal. So, that started it off. That was like the first bar, of course, that was the first bar I thought of. It's like Granny in the kitchen with the pot jumping. You remember them days? Fought your best friend. You remember them fades? You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
who you, 9 times out of 10, I don't know about where y'all grew up at, but in the hood, 9 times out of 10, the first motherfucker you gonna fight is the nigga that you fucking with every day.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Same
You
here.
know what I mean? y'all into it about dumb shit, and you know that's the first person you go fight. So y'all remember them fades. Then I say the next line was about the chili bowl around your head. In the hood, you know, you got that you got that drunk ass uncle that swear he a barber, and he gonna put the illest fade on you so scandalous he ain't blended nothing out. You just out here looking like you about to go salute the lieutenant in the fucking army. You know what I mean? So yeah, everything about that, even like the reference to I say I say back when Rock Bottom made me feel rap. Rock Bottom is like a popular Detroit group back in my day.
Okay.
You
Wow.
feel me? So Rock Bottom, when I said that, like I said, then when I get to mentioning my pops, you know, everybody that know me know back in the day, you know, my pops, he was known for that's what he known for. He was the gun man. He had all the guns. You feel me? Which was is the reason why I'm the gun man now. You feel me? So that whole track was just really like a that's why I call it fits of nostalgia because it was an era piece. Like even when I mention Allen Iverson, you know, that Ivo, I say chili ball around your head. You remember them fades. Then Ivo came. You went and got braids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in my era, everybody had waves at first. It was all the way. Everybody had a do rag on. Everybody brushing their hair. They got 360s. Then Iverson came into the league.
Yep.
Not everybody got braids.
Tattoos.
Tattoos, all of that shit. You feel me? So yeah, that whole track was just like a era piece basically. So if you from my era, if you grew up 85, 86, 87, you feel me? 80s on up, then you'll understand a lot of the references in that song, especially if you're from Detroit.
Yep. Slow Cooking, like we said with Daniel's son, a great feature for the song. I love the way you go with the first verse and then you start off the second verse after the chorus, and then Daniel's son just sneaks into it and just fucking annihilates the whole track with that grimy tone of voice that he has.
Yeah, for sure. My favorite part of that whole song is just one of Danielson's ad libs when he say make way. But you could it was make way like we really coming through this bitch. You feel me?
Yeah.
But that song that was the last beat I had. That song wasn't even supposed to be on here basically because I had already did 8. I'm like fuck it, I'm gonna do 8. So the 8 that you heard besides that song was gonna originally be the album. Then I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, did he send me like 3 more beats? And when she sent me that beat, that was the first one I heard. I listened to when she sent them, and I'm like, ooh. And I just started writing. And by the time I got to the second verse, I didn't even hear Danielson on that song. You feel me? But when I got to that second verse and I got to the end bar, I added Danielson. That's like Luka to the Lakers. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta go get Slime on this bitch. And you know, he looked out, he came through, did his thing, murdered that motherfucker. But that song right there, though, I feel like it's the most like I feel like that shit sound like an industry song. Like I feel like if we put some money behind that song, like I feel like that bitch will blow.
Well, people need to hear that song. That's a song that when you're like radio stations or like when you're driving in an Uber and an Uber puts on the radio, it's a song that like a Hot 97 should be playing type song. You know what I mean? It's a standout song.
No, for sure. And when you really listen to it, another reason why I wanted that to be the single is because it's another song that's breaking down how I feel about the underground and how things going in the underground. We got what you looking for. You ain't trying to cop them what you looking for. They want hella drops, and I could push it more, but you know that shit fall off the bone when you cook it slow. You feel me?
Yeah.
Y'all want like this shit is so recyclable now. Like motherfuckers want Soon as you drop an album, 2 days later, they talking about when is the next one. You ain't even gave this bitch no time yet. What do you mean?
Yep.
When is the next one coming?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just not that type of artist. And I feel like, I mean, I guess I could be biased because one, Mick my brother, but if you want to keep it 100, like it's kind of like the Floyd Mayweather effect. Mickey gave the underground, or at least the immediate motherfuckers that we fuck with, that everybody know of in underground, he kind of gave it the Floyd Mayweather effect. Like if you ain't if you ain't dropped 6-7 albums in 1 year, you ain't working hard enough. If your shit ain't sell out in 10 minutes, you ain't working hard enough, or you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
But they just don't understand how much of an anomaly he is. I don't know too many niggas that could go in the studio. I done watched this nigga fucking do 3-4 albums in 2 months.
Crazy.
Damn.
You feel me? And it's like, yeah, I could do that. But do I want to put that much pressure on myself, for one? And for two, who the fuck want to just think of that many fucking bars every fucking day? I got 6 fucking kids and a wife. You feel me?
Yeah. It's you know what it is. There's a positive to it and there's a negative to it, like the point that you're making. And Mickey was on that ride. Like Mickey was the champion. Like 2023, like 2022 into 2023, with all those projects that Mickey put out, he was the fucking heavyweight champion of it. Like he was doing it, and people were like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like he made people step up.
I was right there, and I was saying it. I was right there, and I was saying like, "What the fuck is you on, bro?" But he just was in a zone. He was in a zone that I never seen before. Like he was in a zone, and he just one of them type of dudes that he could do that. He's good enough to give you, you know, because when you bring that many albums out, man, the quality tends to drop.
Yeah,
and the quality didn't drop with him. And I'm not saying I can't do that. I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But who's to say that the quality don't drop? Like, you know what I mean? And that's just me being against myself. He just had the confidence to say, fuck it, and did it. Now, if I just drop my nuts and do that, I could do that. But that's just not my style. You feel me? So, you know, I'd rather let y'all know, like, this shit gonna be cooked slow, but it's gonna be so seasoned. You're gonna love every bit of it.
Oh, absolutely. And Mickey doing that was actually probably really good for the underground, or for people paying attention to the underground. And it kind of like opened doors where people needed to step up and be like, hold on a second, Mickey's putting out all this project. I need to come on a different level so that people are paying attention to me the same way that they're paying attention to Mickey. And it was a great positive for him and what he did. And, you know, now we're all anticipating his next project and how his next project is going to sound and who's producing for him. But on your level, the albums you're putting out, like you take a good amount of time between your albums, and that's a positive, so that we're able to sit with your project and we'll be able to intake all your projects. Look at last year, like I mentioned, you put out both those records, 1 and 2, Honestly Filthy, produced by Jamil Honesty, and like you go in there and you grasp everything, you intake all the information, and look at now with Crybaby does not sound like Honestly Filthy 1 or 2. It's a whole different style. It's a whole different genre. It's a whole different production. And that's great. But now Crybaby for you is an album. Like, to be honest, I hope you don't put anything out for another couple of months, so that we could sit with Crybaby. People could hear Crybaby and people could be like, wait a minute. Big Trip has something to say. There's a lot of heartfelt here.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go back and listen to be able to catch things I didn't catch on my first 4, 5, 6 listens. I want to go back in a month and not be like, oh, there's a new Big Trip. let me forget about Crybaby. I don't want to do that because there's a lot that went into this project and you could tell. So it's a positive that you don't always release music consistently. You get this, we're able to live with it. You know what I mean?
No, 100%, bro. No, for sure. And I appreciate that, bro, because that's exactly my outlook on making music. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to I feel like my bars, I'm not the type of artist that's like you're not gonna catch some of my shit until 7, 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I'm
for
not
sure.
predictable. I'm not predictable with my bars. Shit is hitting, so that's what I want. I want you to sit back and be like, if you like it that much, I want my shit to have replayability. You know, I don't want you to hear this shit and be like, oh yeah, this just sounds like another album. Don't get me wrong. Like Phil Be Thy Name the that was the most songs I dropped in a project as far as, being in the underground. But that album was more so I just wanted people to even my first 3 albums for real was like I wanted people to know that I could rap. Like I want y'all to know that before I get into this conceptual shit, I want y'all to know that you could put anybody on the month. I don't give a fuck who it is. Go to the industry, go to the deepest, darkest pits of the abyss. Whoever the fuck you get on the track, I ain't scared of them, and we gonna go bar for bar in that motherfucker.
Yeah. And going back and listening to Phil Be Thy Name, it kind of stands out a lot more now than when it came out. Like
Yeah,
I find there's a lot more meaningful to it now that you put out the projects afterwards and Crybaby. And like I feel like it holds more. You know what I mean? There's a
yeah.
lot more to Big Trip now
That
with that
meets the
record,
eye.
right? Like I was
Right.
listening to it the other day, and just like Brothers Keeper, it's a song I kept going back to, and then Family Ties on there as well. There's so much information in there that it stands out more now than when it came out because of the value that it holds.
Yeah, I can
Uh,
see that.
um, all in the family issues, friendship issues. Uh, Again, another powerful song on here. It's something me and you spoke about actually when the album was about to drop, and you said that there's a lot that you needed to get off your chest. This is that one, right? With the
Yeah,
family and the friendship.
yeah, for sure. That particular song it was once again, it was the production, the beat.
Mm.
I listened to that beat and that beat made me emotional. As soon as I heard it, like before I wrote to it, it probably took me like 2 days to even write to it because I was just the way I write is, like I said, I got 5 kids in my house. You feel me? And they from 7 to 1 years old. I got twins. They both 1 years old. My
Wow.
son is 2 years old. I got a 5 year old and a 7 year old. You feel me? So you can only imagine how hectic it is in this motherfucker.
You're
So the
probably a
only
great
way,
dad. You're probably a great dad, and you're
oh
probably
well,
doing a fucking amazing job at it, man. So good for you.
oh no, for sure, bro. Like it don't really nothing else matter like other than them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Them and my wife, my family. I'm definitely a family man, 100%. But I also have an older daughter from my previous marriage. So I'm always on the move. So the only way that I really have time to write is while I drive. So if I'm going to the grocery store, I get 7, 8 bars in on the way there, on the way back. Or if I'm driving to the barbershop and I know I'm about to I write in between my haircuts. If I cut two, I got appointments. So I know between 3:30 and 5:30, I might only got 2 clients. So boom, I got time to write there. But it's always in the car. I always write while I'm riding. So that beat for like 2 days, I just was riding. And I'm like, damn, why the fuck every time I listen to this beat, I feel like not sad, but it's like you need to say something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So once I finally started writing it, it just so happened that it was about my little brother. Me and my
Mm.
little brother not seeing eye to eye right now, and it's been some years. And I started thinking about how my pops feel, or how he would feel about, us not speaking to each other. We haven't spoken in probably about like 4 or 5 years going on now. So, and like I said, my pops was just like me. He's the reason why I'm like I am when it comes to family, because he was a family man as well.
Mm.
So we always was tight knit. And then once he passed, it was like, all of that shit stopped. So, we going through what we going through, whatever. And that's what really made me write those bars. And like nothing in that song is rap. Like that shit is all real life.
Yeah.
You told Taylor to tell me fuck me. That's my little sister. You feel me? We got different mamas. So of course it was closer because they grew up in the same household their whole life. And then it was me and my other sister. We never looked at each other as like, you my half brother, half sister, none of that shit. Like we got the same blood in us. We all got the same last name. So of course, us being at odds, that shit hurt. But it's like, who do you really have to talk to when it comes to that? Like, that's not really something, of course, you got your like Mickey, that's my dog. So, he gonna know the ins and outs of it. Or, I might speak to my wife about it, but you know, you're not really gonna divulge that type of information. But at this particular time, and that beat made me feel that way. Like, yeah, I gotta just get this shit off my chest. You feel me? Because it was like my little brother just detached from everybody, and I haven't had a chance to really speak to him. Like, who knows? He might be going through something too. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason. If you listen to that song, it's really like, I'm speaking to my little brother.
Yeah. You felt it. You feel it when you listen to it. That's why I was like, friendship, family issues, and just going through something like that. You know what? Getting it out, like not a lot of people are able to get it out. Not a lot of people are
Exactly.
able to speak about it. You had this, again, this theatrical style beat. To me, it sounded like slow dancing at a wedding style beat. And you were able to feel that way about it and get it all out. And that's amazing for you to be able to do that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And of course, it's not the first time I've done it, but it's definitely the first time that I let it out to the public.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like this album in general, I felt like that goes with this album because everything with this album is just about how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
You may not feel that way about the underground. They might be treating you just how you feel like you should be treated. You feel me? But me, I don't feel that way. I feel like motherfuckers owe me. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Like said on Stainless Cookware to end off, which how you ended off the album.
Exactly. I feel like motherfuckers owe me. I need them bands all wrapped in a strip like a Obi.
Absolutely. And the choruses on here, man, and everything just flows perfectly. And you before we were talking about your lyrical ability and how you approach tracks. You always are able to add a chorus on there that fits in super well. And one thing I noticed about that is the tone of your voice when you do a chorus changes.
Yeah, purposely. Because I don't like how it sounds. I feel like my voice is so distinctive on the track. When I write a hook, I make sure I always try to flip my voice a little bit because it feels like a run on. Because a lot of my hooks sound like verses.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know how to write hooks, bro. I don't know how to write hooks. And I know that sounds crazy because I feel like I got some dope ass hooks.
Yep.
But
You do. Yeah.
your your quintessential hook where you got a bridge and you got like, I don't do that shit because I don't know how. And I've been rapping
Mm-hmm.
all my fucking life, but like I said, I never really was a songwriter. I just had bars. But then I started learning that the hook is inside of the bars. So
Yep.
nine times out of ten, when I write a song, I write the hook. I mean, the hook may not ever get wrote, or it's the last thing I do.
Okay.
And the most conceptual things that I do, I wrote the hook first.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. But
So
Yeah.
you always switch in style the way you write a song. It always depends on the beat, I guess.
Yep, that's really what it is. It depends. It depends on the beat, and it depends on what the verse say. But it's more so the beat, because I don't know if y'all ever heard. If you what album was that on? I think it was on Phil Be Thy Name. Fuck. What's the name of that shit? Interstellar. Y'all love it. If you never heard Interstellar, listen to Interstellar. That was a song that I wrote the hook first.
okay.
And if you really listen to that song, you could tell that I wrote the hook first, because is spacey, is conceptual. Same thing with I got too much shit, bro. I can't think of the name of my shit right now, and I'm high, but you know, but yeah, nine times out of ten, Blue always, that's Mickey, but Mick
Yep.
always tell me that he always tell me that I'm one of the dopest hook writers that around. And I'll be like, damn, that shit crazy, bro. Cause I feel like I really don't know how to make hooks. It's just I know how to rap. So I listen to the verse that I wrote and I'm like, okay, this shit is talking about this. So that's how I end up with the hook. To
Did
be
he
honest, it's really not like no mad sciencey shit.
did he tell you that after the Honestly Filthy albums? Because those two have really good hooks on there, standout hooks, things that are in your face.
Yeah. No, he told me. No, he told me that shit a while ago. He told me that shit a while ago because, like I said, I got a whole album that most people haven't heard before. I've showed a couple of them to fans though, because I fucked around and moved, and I found, like I say, I was moving albums out the trunk. I was getting them pressed up myself and selling them to the liquor stores in the hood, and
Wow.
selling them out the trunk. And I fucked around and found like 15 of them, and people been buying it. People been buying it. That bitch got a ticket on it though. I ain't gonna lie, because I even found one of my first albums, Trip on This. I got one hard copy of that too. But
Keep it. You need to keep that though. Keep that for
no,
yourself.
no, for sure, that was me. I'm never selling that. It's over. But it's just like the whole point of the hook and shit. What was the question again?
Malenko, with the do you write your hook? How do you, like, every time you write a song, is it different? Are you always writing it differently? Hook first or verse first, or
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, for sure. Even when you go all the way back to my first joints, like you could tell when I wrote the hook first, because it sounds like a whole complete song. But the ones that got the hook that I wrote last, you could tell you could tell that I wrote it last, because it got a lot to do with the actual the bars.
The bars, yeah. It's the
But
most
that's just
conceptual. Yeah.
exactly the most conceptual shit is the shit that I wrote the hook first.
okay. Where do you put this album amongst all your other records?
I feel like this album is the most cohesive, but I said that about Honestly Filthy One. So I feel like, honestly, bro, the underground is making me become a better artist. I always was a good rapper, but the underground making me become a better artist, because I'm studying more now. Like, me and Mick was just having this conversation yesterday. I never really had a chance to, like, in the city, don't get me wrong, it's hip hop dudes here, but it's not the prominent lane, in the city. And this a super young man sport in Detroit. So I'm 40 years old, and I'm cutting dudes that's 20, 22. They not really, they know I can rap, but it's what I'm rapping about. They don't have the patience to listen and understand that I'm rapping about the same shit that they rapping about. But it's just my references is old school. You know what I mean? So they can't catch it as much as they would like. But I feel like this album is probably my strongest for the simple fact that this is my first time, being conceptual all the way through. And it's my first time getting personable. I just feel like it's opening this album opened a lot of gateways for me. Not saying that I'm gonna, touch on more. I've been like this, bro. You feel me? I got songs that I wrote about my mama that made my mama cry, where I'm really divulging my opinion on how she raised me and all types of shit. So I could go to this level at any time, but it was just how I was feeling at the time that made me bring this album. So this this album right now is my favorite, but that shit tends to change because I might go listen to the Honestly Filthy 2 and be like, nah, hell no, I was rapping my ass off on this one.
Yeah.
Or I might go listen to Kasu. Kasu probably my favorite though, because that was the first one where I literally learned myself, started learning myself, started learning my style, started learning what I could do, like for real, when it comes to being an artist and it comes to, making actual songs.
Yeah. I mean, they're
So
all
yeah,
different vibes. They're all different vibes.
no, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. The next one that I drop gonna be a different vibe because that's just who I am. You know what I mean? I can't keep bringing the same shit. It's just not in me because I'm a mood writer. I write off my moods.
Yeah.
Honestly, Filthy 3, are we getting that? Or is that something that's not going to happen? Because I feel like a number 3 is just a great way to finish off that whole thing that you and Jamil did. Like you need 3 movies, right?
No, you gotta have 3 movies. You gotta have 3 movies. And that's probably gonna happen for sure. That's probably gonna happen. Me and Jamil really supposed to be locked in right now, but you know, um, you know how shit go. You feel me? We had the idea to come back with a honestly filthy 3, but certain shit that happened to where it's gonna, go in a different direction for now. You feel me? But I got shit in the tuck though. I got a project that I'm working on right now that's halfway done right now. I'm really trying to I'm also trying to I'm not none of this is set in stone for real, but I'm trying to drop the most projects that I ever dropped too in 1 year this year.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And if I could put if I could pull it off, I'm trying to show my diversity. Like y'all want a whole bunch of shit. Well, I'm gonna let y'all sit with this, eat this up, and then I'm gonna drop some shit on your ass. You feel me?
Yep.
So, uh, between us, uh, I'm working on a project with Mickey
Yep.
called Coogee Raps.
Wow. Okay. That's gonna be something with a name like that.
Oh yeah, all fly shit. Me and Mick, we when we step out, man, we're the bells of the balls.
I can't imagine what that's gonna sound like. Both of you's rapping like a duo album.
Yes. Just me and him.
Oh, okay.
All fly shit. But
I guess
yeah,
game over.
Oh, it's gonna be a bad motherfucker. It's gonna be a bad motherfucker. Trust me. We actually started this shit like last year, but it's just you gotta live life too, and people don't understand. Like people think Mick that disappeared or he fell off or any of that. If you think any of that stupid shit, then kill yourself. You feel me? We about to come. Umbrella is about to shit on these last couple of quarters, motherfuckers better get ready because Umbrella about the shit. Pro about to drop Dirt Wave. You feel me? Like it's about to get ugly. But me and Substance, we working on the album together too, the Guillotines, and
Fuck.
it's just all cut your head off music. So
I've told Jamil this many times. Him producing a full album for you, Substance, and him, all three of yous rapping on there, like 1999, 2001 style Rockefeller would be fucking crazy. Because his production brings it back to like the early 2000s, Just Blaze type of sound.
I ain't gonna lie. If I had to do an album with them two motherfuckers, bro, I know my sword would be the sharpest it's ever been. My sword will be the sharpest it's ever been, bro. Because I know how, especially Jamil crazy with it. He crazy with it.
Very crazy.
I always say him and J. Royale. I just hit J. Royale up the other day and told him like it was just a quick reel too. It ain't even like I listened to a whole song. It was a quick reel that went past, and I was like, damn, every time I hear this nigga, I instantly just start rapping. I had to hit him up. I'm like, bro, every time I hear your style just make me want to rap. Them niggas, him and Jamil, they just got a style that's just like, it take me back. Like how you just said, they style take me back to when I first started rapping. Like, damn, because when I first started rapping, I wasn't a super East Coast head because I was going off of my pops music. My pops was an old school gangster type nigga, so he listened to the Too Short, Ice-T, NWA. He West Coast out, or Scarface, UGK, 8 Ball, MJG.
Wow.
Only real East, like he used to think Jay-Z was garbage. Like he ain't like Jay-Z. Only East Coast nigga he really used to listen to was Coogee Rap. So once I got into my own and started hooking up with my cousin, my cousin that I met Mickey through. Once I started linking up with my cousin, and he put me up on all this East Coast shit. Like people shame me today for this shit, but like when Wu-Tang was the shit, or when everybody, I never really knew about Wu-Tang because my pops was so West Coast out. Like I'm listening to West Side Connection and shit. You feel me? Not saying that they trash. You feel me? Them niggas, that's all classic music that I'm mentioning. But once I heard East Coast music, I'm like, oh no, this is where it's at. You feel me? And Jamil and fucking J. Royale, they make me feel that way. And Snotty too.
Snotty, yeah. Oof.
Snotty is crazy. He just put out the blue carpet, and it's very different. Fire. It's very different, but again, it's heartfelt, and he's like putting it all on the table. And him too. He didn't put out too many records last year, and he brought us something like this that stand out.
Cooking, bro.
All of the Umbrella. Look at Josiah this year. Man, fucking Mac Nice is probably dropping something soon because I see him always on Instagram showing us something. Mr. Nice Guy, I think that's what the record's called. Like fuck, like you guys, like first and foremost, you yourself are always putting Umbrella first. You're that soldier. You're the guy who puts Umbrella in front of everybody, and it's appreciated that you do that, man, because you always big up the people in the collective, and each and every single one of you guys are on a different level. Like not one of you sounds like the other.
Yeah, that's what I love about us, and that's what I love about us.
And it's consistent. It's consistent music, one after another, and it's like, you guys are right now, people should be listening to what you guys are bringing to the table and how you guys are bringing it to the table. Like the younger generation should be looking up to people like yourselves, you know, and the Feed the Families and the Sean Links and all these artists, and learn off of what you're doing, because what you're doing is something special. Nobody should ever look at it differently than that, what you guys are doing.
I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that, and that's really. I mean, it's not that I'm looking for that, but at the same time, you don't do this shit to not look for that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You want to feel it. Everybody wants to feel appreciated. You don't go out your way for your girlfriend or your wife for her to just be like, "Oh, thanks, babe." You know what I mean? So everybody wants to feel appreciated for their work, and that's really the whole concept of this album. Like, I just want to feel appreciated. Like, I want y'all to understand that even though I love Blue, that's my brother. I love Pro, that's my brother. I love J Royale. You feel me? But them niggas ain't the only niggas in the umbrella, and y'all better get hip, cause we, as a collective, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
We out here.
Oh yeah, you guys are.
I talked to.
Since we got the, sorry to cut you off, but since you guys started,
No, you good.
and we got you on the lookout here for those last years. I mean, I don't see nothing beating the Umbrella Collective for a long time, and especially in the underground.
For sure. It's almost impossible. There's a lot of great artists right now in the underground. Malenko, to your point, but like, look after the projects. Wait till Pro drops, like, and look what Pros drop. Same thing for Big Trip. Same thing for Substance. Same thing for Mickey. Same thing for Josiah. Like Mac too. Like, it's always consistent music. You guys are making a stamp. You guys are like, the pillars now for the underground. You know what I mean? I like to use the pillars because they use that in wrestling, but like the pillars of the underground.
Right.
People need to look up to you guys and what you guys are doing and the approach that you guys are doing. And you know what's even crazier about everything? You guys haven't put a project out, all of you together, and I'm fine with that. I'm actually fine with that because you guys feature on each other and it brings out the best in you guys. When you like just look at Danielson, him on your project now. Like, the dude came sharp. His swords were sharpened. When you go 100. On a Mickey project, it's the same thing. Like, and you guys always big up each other, and it's fun because there's competition between everybody.
Yeah.
But it bigs up you guys. You guys lift each other up, if that makes sense.
No, for sure. That's exactly what it is. 100%. Like, I think that's the umbrella made me better. You feel me? And just to think, I ain't even like these niggas at first, but they made me better, bro. Over real shit, they made me better, bro. Because I feel exactly what you saying. That's how I feel about our whole collective, bro. Even though we haven't dropped the Umbrella album yet, we giving you bits and pieces of the Umbrella album because the Umbrella album is something that can't be rushed. It can't be forced.
No.
Because when it happens, the people that want it are going to love it, and the people that don't want it are going to be sick as fuck about it because I'm scared of what that shit going to sound like. Like, you feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
That shit is it's going to be crazy, and everybody knows that. But until then, we're coming consistently month after month on some old Master P type shit. Mm-hmm. So just eat it all up. Yep. Eat it all up and enjoy.
Yeah. And it's crazy because when they're featured, like when you guys are featured on each other's records, you guys, it's crazy because it's like you guys annihilate the artist's album that it is. Like you guys are the ones that shine if you're a featuring. That's what's crazy to me.
Yeah. I just told Pro probably about like 3-4 days ago on that Dirty Thoughts. Like, he went bonkers on that bitch.
Yeah.
He went bonkers on that bitch. And I'm not like, when I do a feature, I'm gonna send you the whole shit. I'm gonna send you my verse, I'm gonna send you the hook, all that, because I'm not hiding from shit. I'm not going you. The same verse that you heard that I sent you is the same verse that's going to be on the album. I'm not changing shit and none of that shit because I'm confident in what the fuck I'm saying. And if you come with something better, And I'm not trying to be funny enough, but it's just it's easier to come with a harder verse when you heard the other verse first. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's giving you a pathway. You feel me? So, but if you come with a better verse, I don't give a fuck. That shit is just gonna make the song better.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's the
definitely.
whole reason why I called your ass, because I knew what you was gonna do to this bitch. But of course, with us in our brotherhood, you know, we gonna talk our shit because y'all gonna hear it once that dirt wave drop. I smoke the shit out of Snotty and Pro on that bitch.
Fuck, I can't wait. Uh, um, Malenko, anything you want to add?
No, man, just congrats on the album, dog. I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna enjoy this album a lot. And dude, every song on this is quality, just quality all over the place, man. And it's something different from your last album. So, congrats, man, on the rollout.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. And the big question: are we getting physicals?
As of right now, I got a situation with bars, of course.
Yes, sir.
But as far as vinyls go, no. Honestly, I don't. I don't have a situation with vinyl as far as vinyls go right now, but you know, it's in the works. I'm talking to a few people, and just got to get the numbers right and how we gonna play it, and you know, whoever coming with the best, you know, outlook for me.
Yeah,
Definitely.
a
Definitely.
100%.
But tapes and CDs for sure. Tapes and CDs for sure. That's gonna be, you know, it'll be announced real soon.
Good.
I'm
Shout
there.
out Ty Ferris. Shout out my guy Ty Ferris, man. You know, he always, you know, that's brotherhood right there. So 9 times out of 10, if Big Trip dropping, it's some bars behind it for sure.
Amazing. And Ty's vision and what he's done for the underground with the bars over BS and also just his music itself, man, it's a lot. He does a lot for the underground, and for people being able in this day and age to own the artist's music. If you remove Typh and bars over BS from that equation, I don't have any Big Trip albums in my CD tower. I don't have any Mickey Diamond. I don't have Josiah. Like, I don't have pro stuff if it wasn't for Ty and the bars over BS vision.
Yep.
Oh yeah, niggas in the underground need to be sending Ty a motherfucking birthday gift every year because what you just said is 100% facts. You feel me? And and he really do it for the love too. That's the craziest part about Ty. That's why everybody can't get no bars deal, because he do it for the love of the game. Like, he respects pens. He respects work. You know, he respects a real artist and real flowers, because that's where he come from, just like us. You feel me?
Yep.
So, and then that's why I feel like it's so easy for Umbrella to be this nice, bro. Is because we surrounded by so many fucking. I'm surrounded by assassins, bro.
Yeah.
How could I
That's
not know how
exactly
to
it.
kill?
Yeah.
How could I not know how to kill? I'm surrounded by assassins, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Ty
exactly it.
is Ty is Umbrella adjacent. Jamil Honesty is Umbrella adjacent.
Before we get up out of here, man, we usually, when we have guests, we do a quick game that's called Top 5 in 5 seconds. So your top 5 most influential artists, especially that you mentioned growing up, you listened to what your dad made you listen to, and it being a West Coast sound. So who are your top 5 most influential artists?
Ooh-wee. Shit. You would put me on the spot. Jay, for sure. Jay-Z, Biggie, DMX. Man. I want to say Snoop Dogg, because
Oh, wow.
Snoop Snoop is one of them artists that you can learn way more from than just music. Feel me? Like, if you want to know how to reinvent yourself and just game on top of game. So Snoop gotta be in there. And But number 5 is always the hardest on every fucking list because there's so many more that I could use and so much more that I could say. But man, it's got to be somebody like number 5 is hard, bro. So many fucking artists. Number 5 would have to be somebody like not in the rap space,
Okay.
Hmm.
Wow.
but 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 he is in the rap space, and people are gonna kill me for this, as they always do. But Drake, bro,
Drake?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
for sure, yes.
Oh,
Anybody
wow.
that know me personally know that's Drake. Drake's my guy, bro. Now, far as like all of the, I'm talking about musically. This is what
Yeah.
people need to understand. I'm talking about musically. I don't give a fuck what that nigga do at his crib or what he do at the club or on the block with his homies. I'm talking about musically. The boy is unfuckwittable,
Mm.
and you can tell he man. I don't even want to go into no rant, but yeah, Drake got to be one of the ones for me. Sorry,
No, don't be
because
sorry. It's your
the R
opinion.
the R&B side of him, you know, because like I said, if you know me, I'm an R&B dude. You feel me? I don't listen to
Okay.
rap all day. I ride around listen to some player shit. You feel me? So I gotta go with Drake for number 5.
Top 5 favorite R&B artists.
Ooh wee. So I'm from the older era, so my shit wouldn't really necessarily be artists because one individual artist because groups was the shit back then.
Yep.
So I'm gonna say Jodeci definitely was one. R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I gotta go with like Usher.
Good call.
For Usher for sure. Probably the OJ's and I want to say like Badu.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
between like Badu and Jill Scott and Kim Chemistry. See, R&B get crazy. You feel me? R&B get crazy. Picking 5 in R&B, that's a bad motherfucker because it's so many.
And the last one, because I know you're an old school wrestling guy, your top 5 wrestlers of all time. And yes, you have wrestling lyrics. You had on Honestly Filthy 2 or 1, if I'm not mistaken, grab his ankle like Kurt Angle.
Yeah, for sure. uh, shit. Number. This is no particular order, right?
Okay. No.
Okay, so yeah, I gotta go. The Rock, Stone Cold, uh, Rock, Stone Cold. My man, gotta go with my guy, Ultimate Warrior. He was just a fucking nut. Gotta go. And then I gotta go with Randy Savage because not just his wrestling skills, like his whole everything. That motherfucker was crazy. You know he was off at least an 8 ball of cocaine every time you seen him on camera. You
Yep.
feel me?
Yeah.
With 2, 3, 6 packs, like he was just the funniest motherfucker ever. I gotta go with my man Randy Savage, and I gotta go with one of the big boys, man, like Undertaker for sure,
Yeah.
because the run just was so scandalous.
Yep.
The longevity of it all, you feel me? And like
Legend.
I said, my wrestling, like I was telling you, my wrestling stems from the SmackDown era and the NWO and all that type of shit. But yeah, I get them my top favorite boys.
Absolutely. Man, first and foremost, we appreciate you. Thank you for giving our platform the opportunity to talk about this album. You did a wonderful job with it. People need to listen to it. the consistency throughout the album, the consistency throughout your project. I think this is a special one, and people might not get it now, but with time and going back and listening to it, and for it to live out there, people will understand it, and people are gonna fuck with it because it's a very special project. And I'm happy for you that you were able to get all this emotion and all this heartfelt energy out for the people to really see what you're trying to do with hip hop. And it's very important for a project like this for people to hear it.
I appreciate that, bro, and I thank y'all for having me, bro. Just the words that you said, you feel me? They make me know that I'm in the right space, you know, and exactly where I need to be. You feel me? So I appreciate that, man. And like I said, man, we about to come for next. So motherfuckers better get their turtlenecks with get a little iron sheath on their shit or something.
Yeah.
Cause shit about to get ugly for the end of 2025.
For sure. Crybaby is out now on all streaming platforms, on Bandcamp, and also soon on Bars Over BS for the tapes and the CDs. And also 200 episodes for the Abyss podcast. They reached 200 episodes. Shout out to Carl, shout out to Lukey, and shout out to Primo Job on the fantastic job that they do to showcase the artists and the content that they've been giving us for the longest time. We appreciate what you do for the underground and for the hip hop culture.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate my boys, man. My guys over there.
Absolutely. And motherfuckers will owe you.
Yeah, for sure. They owe you fucking big time.
They owe you now with this shit. I'm telling you now. Everybody can keep the change because they're all filthy animals. Big Trip.
Yes, sir. You already know.
Peace, man. Thank you for
Appreciate
everything.
Thank you for everything,
Good looking, man.